good afternoon, and happy hot Friday. From the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now. I'm Patricia Murphy with a roundup of today's top stories. It's August 22nd. We'll get started with the obvious, the heat. It is roasty. Most of Washington state is under a heat advisory through Tuesday morning, and the hot, dry stretch isn't helping boost rain totals, which in the Seattle area are 6 inches behind average. Other areas of the state are behind by up to 20 inches. Karen Bumbacco is the deputy state climatologist. She says the lack of rain in the summer has become more common.
One thing that climate change models tell us is that we should expect to see drier summers in our future, and that looks like it might already be happening in Washington state. We have been seeing less of that late summer precipitation than usual in recent years.
The trend is particularly worrying for the Yakima Basin. They're dealing with some of the lowest levels of water since 1971, when officials started tracking it. Bumbacco says even if the region gets a normal amount of rainfall, it won't be enough to make up the water deficit in the basin from the last few years. You'll need to take a shuttle bus if you're planning to ride the train through downtown Seattle Saturday morning. Casey Martin reports.
No trains will run from Westlake to Soto Saturday morning. Sound Transit says it has to do some testing in the tunnel and move a guard station. Sim Guth rides light rail daily. Her advice when there's shuttles, just skip them.
I always opted for the bus that will take me where I want because the shuttle just takes me to the other light rail stop, which is usually not efficient for where I'm going.
This is at least the third time this month Sound Transit has had to stop trains and call in shuttles. Give yourself 15 more minutes to get through downtown if you're riding before 1 o'clock. Guth, who rides her bike onto the train, says there are options to get through the city.
The good thing about light rail, if there's something wrong with it, you go get on another bus. If there's something wrong with your car, you're stuck there.
Trains are set to start running again at 1 p.m. In downtown, I'm Casey Martin, KUOW News.
And if you're planning to drive this weekend, you should also be ready to be flexible. Lanes and whole sections of I-5, I-405, State Route 99, and State Route 18 will be closed through the weekend. WashDOT says crews will be out working on preservation, maintenance, and construction projects. Officials at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport are looking for the public's feedback on a new driverless shuttle it's operating to the light rail stop. Airport officials are testing it out to see how effective it is at helping passengers with mobility issues. A human engineer is riding along for now. The pilot program will run until the end of October. In immigration news, colleges and universities are trying to help international students navigate visa challenges amidst federal pressure against schools enrolling from abroad. Ann Dornfeld reports.
The Trump administration called for greater scrutiny of student visas. That slowed visa processing times and made appointments harder to come by. The president directed Harvard not to enroll new international students, a move blocked by the courts. At the University of Washington last year, about 12% of students came from other countries, mostly in Asia. Joy Williamson-Lott is dean of the graduate school.
We all recognize that this is an especially difficult time for international students who are navigating academic pressures, visa uncertainties, geopolitical tensions, and in many cases, separation from family.
Williamson-Lott says the university will allow graduate students to defend dissertations remotely. But switching to online classes could hurt international students in the U.S., she said, because if they take too many remote courses, they'll lose their visas. So far, the UW hasn't seen enrollment dips for international students, but it's waiting to see how many make it to school next month. Ann Dornfeld, KUOW News.
In other news, White House border czar Tom Homan recently visited Seattle and Portland as part of a larger swing through the West Coast. As Oregon Public Broadcasting's Conrad Wilson reports, Homan confirmed visits to several sanctuary cities that limit their cooperation with federal immigration agents.
Homan is one of the Trump administration's leaders on immigration enforcement. In a social media post, Homan says his visits were to let federal immigration officers know that President Trump supports their work. Homan also criticized leaders of sanctuary jurisdictions. For decades, Oregon has been a sanctuary state with laws that block local and state resources for immigration enforcement. In response to Homan's visit, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson reaffirmed the city's sanctuary status and said residents were, quote, horrified and disturbed by images of masked men pulling our community members off the streets and out of their cars and homes at gunpoint. I'm Conrad Wilson in Portland.
Washington State is assessing the impacts of the new federal budget bill on Medicaid recipients. Currently, nearly 2 million residents are enrolled in Medicaid. Among them is Rachel Nemhauser's 21-year-old son, who's diagnosed with autism and an intellectual disability. Like many disabled adults, Medicaid provides services that help with daily routines, like getting ready for school.
If he didn't have it, he wouldn't be able to care for himself fully. It also pays for him to participate in engaging activities throughout the day.
Medicaid is often associated with health care for low-income people, but the program also provides non-medical services for elderly people or people with disabilities. Based on federal cuts to Medicaid, the state anticipates losing billions in funding over the next decade. It projects up to 320,000 enrollees could lose coverage. The U.S. Postal Service will have to pay $33,000 in fines after state ecology inspectors found 4 dangerous waste violations at the Seattle Bulk Mail Center last year. The state found the Postal Service was not properly handling or disposing of packages containing materials like batteries or fluorescent bulbs. Inspectors have found issues with improper waste identification and storage dating back to 2018 at the Bulk Mail Center. An ecology spokesperson tells the Washington State Standard the Postal Service has corrected all 4 violations. The USPS did not respond to the Standard's request for comment. And check your freezer if you've recently purchased shrimp, whether it's raw or cooked. The Southwind Foods Company is recalling shrimp sold under several brand names because they could contain radioactive contamination. Officials say the health risk is quite low and would really only cause problems after exposure over a long period of time. Nonetheless, if you have any shrimp sold under the brand names like Sandbar, Best Yet, Arctic Shores, and Great American in the freezer, don't eat it. You can also go to the FDA's website to see the complete recall list. Next week on Seattle Now, UW medicine researchers have successfully implanted a device on the brain of a Seattle man who suffered a stroke. The goal is to help him regain movement in his arm and hand.
The idea is that this device, when it's turned on, can help people regain motor function. So they do it while he's doing physical therapy, and they are trying to help the brain rewire.
Hear that Monday morning. And that's all for today from the KUOW newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Patricia Murphy. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. Have a great weekend.